When Brent and I were newly married, we lived and worked in Columbia, Missouri, while Brent finished his master's degree. At the time, our young marriage was reliable, but our old cars were not. When Brent would tell me he was flat tired, he was referring to his Mazda and not a late-night study session. Likewise, when we discussed belts, we were referring to the serpentine variety that frequently broke on my Pontiac. Our apartment building was owned by Mr. Tinker, an appropriate name considering he was a car mechanic and owned Tinker Auto Repair. Mr. Tinker charged affordable rent for a clean, large apartment, and we were delighted to learn of his automotive skills, which were quickly put to use. Mr. Tinker had a broad smile and a generous heart. Whether by tow truck or the last gasp of an engine, we would turn into the auto shop and know Mr. Tinker would treat us with respect. He was gifted in car repair, able to find the necessary remedy at a low cost, and we trusted him. Our safety on the road was in his hands. What did Mr. Tinker gain from his generosity? His reward was not financial. He often gave us big breaks on the cost of repairs. His reward was not fame. A weathered sign hung on his shop, and a search history doesn't exist online. 2 Corinthians 8:7 states, "But just as you excel in everything, in faith, in speech, in knowledge, in complete earnestness, and in your love for us, see that you also excel in this grace of giving." I witnessed Mr. Tinker's continued growth in his generosity during the few years I lived in the same town. By excelling in generosity, he was rewarded with a heart that was open wide to treat strangers as family, and he found joy in making another's day a little less worrisome. Even though we thanked him again and again, I'm sure he could never know the blessing he was to our lives. So my car runs much better these days, and the technology under the hood might even puzzle Mr. Tinker. But as I continue on my earthly journey, I recall that he placed a billboard along my path that read, "Be a good steward of what the Lord blesses you with. Delight in receiving the unexpected blessing. Delight in giving the unexpected blessing." Jesus owned everything and gave it all up to come to earth, to suffer and die on the cross for the forgiveness of our sins. He gave all he had for us, trusting his Father to provide for all of his needs. To be a generous giver is to be a reflection of Jesus.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
That was great. Thank you.
You're welcome.